It's not the morning. It's the afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Afternoon Birds podcast. I have a special guest here today. His name is Shawn McNeil. He's been on here before. It was an awesome conversation surrounding a lot of mental health, a lot of the things, that people don't like to talk about and how it correlates to today. And we want to take that conversation even a step further with you, Shawn. How are you doing today, sir?
Dude, I'm already laughing, dude.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I'm doing great, dude.
Listen, it's about that energy. You and I have been, it's funny, we've been like touching base, and it's really fascinating. The thing I love the most is it's like, we're obviously finding different unique ways to do business together.
Yeah.
But we've really respected our boundaries in terms of, hey, where's this relationship going to be? What's it going to be like? It's not going to be like a lender realtor relationship,
Sure.
And the cool part about it is we're both very comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And it's allowed us to open up our conversations and just be real with each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part I've really appreciated the most about the way we're doing stuff. And it's cool because now you're even supporting other things that I'm doing, and I'm obviously supporting what you're doing.
100%.
And a cool thing we talked about last time was waking up early. And I remember you were saying, after that last conversation you and I had, you started waking up like a half hour earlier, like 15 minutes earlier, 20 minutes earlier. And you've been super consistent. You've been posting on social media constantly. Good morning. It's time to get up. 7 a.m. crew. Here we are, staying late. The grind is real. And I'm watching your team actually want to be part of it more.
Yeah.
How has that dynamic helped shift your mindset plus your team's mindset?
Dude, it's just energy, man. It's just straight up like winner circle energy. Maybe even they can't be there because school drop off, things like that, but they know that they are missing out on something, and that's good. That's what I need. And to get a text, I got a text last night. So this morning I was like, hey, I'm challenging the whole office, 7 a.m. Let's be there. And I got, I got the typical hey, school drop off. I can't do it.
Yeah, no problem.
And I get it. But I still get the text of is this a challenge? What are you trying to do? I'm like, no challenge. I was like, I know I'm available from 7 to 9 because you guys aren't up yet. I know I'm available. If you want to learn 7 to 9, you're going to learn something from me between 7 and 9. And if not, I'm there conquering my day from 7 to 9. So it's not that big of a deal, if you're there or not. I'm winning. Come bring that energy with me and win.
And listen, the winning mentality is funny because our convo sometimes I'll FaceTime you, you'll FaceTime me, we'll have a conversation sometimes super early, sometimes super late, and that convo always starts with a smile, right? And just us either talking shit in a joking manner or just talking about accomplishing and conquering the day. That kind of energy, I tell people all the time, you need winners in your life, all right? And I'm going to use this word. I'm going to be very honest with you. There's also losers.
Yeah,
I'm going to be real, okay? That's legit.
Dude.
So that winning mentality, I'd like to kind of shift back a little to the military, then bring it full circle here. I'm sure you've in the military were around a lot of different human beings, right?
Oh,
Being part of the team, growing, watching kind of other teams, other groups of people go through it. So that's a big piece of the puzzle. What were the differences, if any, that you noticed when you were part of a winning culture in the military versus a culture where you either saw or were a part of that didn't have that same mindset?
It was the groups that we were in, the melting pot groups. I mean, obviously we're all different human beings. You put on a uniform and everything gets stripped away from you. The second the uniform comes off, you've got your preppy kid, you got your skater kid, you've got your weird emo punk kid that listens to weird music, but you're all best friends and you're all standing together in a group. And go back to high school, you don't have that. So but if you have the good, they're all good dudes and you're surrounded by them, the problems go away. The typical problems of being 18 and in the military kind of start to go away, or maybe they don't, but the problems that you have in that group are different, right? You're not maybe you're in trouble because you party a little bit too hard on the weekends, as opposed to you're in trouble because you your uniform sucks or something like that, right? So I mean, then you look at some of the other kids that are always getting in trouble. It's this vortex that you can't escape of that loser mentality, and they're always doing stupid stuff. They're always late to formation. Their room's always dirty. Their uniform sucks. And it's just they group together and they flock together in that circle, and it just becomes this vortex they can't escape. Because even if they can escape it, right, that reputation's with them forever.
Okay, my brain's kind of firing right now with that comment, because the thing you said is not in high school, which is so true. And I think a big piece of it, I've been reading a lot of literature about just responsibilities and what it means to actually your life and what you accomplish out of life. Like the more real responsibilities you have, the more focused you can be on the things that matter, as opposed to like the BS. And in high school it was like that, right? It's the drama. So-and-so's dating this person. Oh, did you hear about so-and-so doing this? You hear about the fight at the cafeteria? Did you hear about? And that's what you're focusing on because that's what you want. But in that presence, in that environment that you're in, especially, going overseas in some instances, it's like, look, our common goal that we have as a unit right now is the fact that I need you to have my back for us to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the responsibility. And so it's like,
Exactly.
yo, bro, I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you look like. I need you to be a winner right now.
Yeah.
Because it's literally life or death. Right. And that's the big piece of the puzzle that I don't think people think about. So it's like, why do we focus so much on that negativity? Like, why do you think it feels good for people? And I use the word feel good. And the only reason I say feel good is because I keep seeing it. It's not going away. I see more things about negativity, right, than I do about positivity. And I follow only positive people. I remove anybody that isn't like a positive influence. Like, why do you think that happens?
Man, I don't know, dude. I think it's just so. I think it's so easy to be negative. It is so easy to look at this glass and be like, man, that's half full, But it's hard. Like Gary Vaynerchuk said it best. He's like, I don't look at a glass half empty or half full. You give me an empty glass, I know exactly what to do with that glass. And I think it's just like a different perspective that like you, I, like guys like us around us have. Like, I don't have time to think about if it's empty or if it's full. I'm just figuring out like, oh shit, I've got this cup. What can I do with it? Like, could I fill it? Or could I, well, now it's empty. What I really wanted was water. Maybe I go fill it with water. Maybe I wanted chocolate milk. I go fill it with chocolate milk now, but it's so easy to look at it and just be like, oh, it's half full. My day sucks. I didn't win this offer. It's so easy to just be down and be sad. And like when you do that, it's so infectious. It's so infectious. Like that person starts going around and they start doing it. And if you don't nip that in the butt quick, it spreads, dude.
So how do you take that into the entrepreneurship role, which is about that negativity piece where you were saying it? And this is actually a true statement, by the way. They always say it's like if you're in a group of winners, right? You can bring in like one or two people that you're trying to bring up to the top. But if you're in a group of losers, they just bring you down. And if you're a winner and you're the person in that group that's the only one trying to be a winner and everybody else around you is like, oh, don't do that. Oh, don't go out there. Oh, don't do this. Oh, don't do that. You're done.
Yeah.
You are done for. So with like a team and growing in the entrepreneurship route, how do you have those conversations with potential culture killers? And you're like, okay, look, like this is not how we're going to operate anymore. When do you make that decision, and at what point do you say enough is enough?
Yeah, so that's a hard one. So it's not even necessarily like I think first, like as a leader, our first job, first and foremost, is to change that environment, right? Like I don't think you have to necessarily go around and fire somebody or get rid of someone. Like maybe we just have to change the environment. Like I'll walk into the office and there's no music going and something like that, and I'm like, oh my God, it is so silent in here. And then it's like, bam, whatever I want to listen to that day, I don't care. So everyone else had their chance to put on music. They didn't do it. I'm putting on music that I want to listen to. I get over to my desk. I work out on like the bullpen too, just like you do. Mm-hmm. And I just start going, man. I start vibing. I'm sitting there, I'm bobbing my head. I'm singing along to the songs. I'm on the phone. I'm dialing for, dollars. And, you can see a shift, even if it was bad that day. Like you can see a shift in the room, right? I think it starts there. And I think like if you have high enough energy, you can shift an entire room. So now you go beyond that, and like let's say you can't change, then it's just I create this virtual wall around me, and it's just like, hey, anyone that wants to like vibe right now and like listen to music and have fun and enjoy our lives, like you're in my little bubble and we can all have fun, and everyone else just don't even look at me because you're so cut off from me right now. It's not even funny. I don't have to fire you, but I don't have to talk to you either.
You know what's fascinating? Like, how are you sitting there and finally putting yourself in that mindset? I'm assuming you weren't always in that mindset,
no,
right?
Not always.
Because it's like you sometimes you become part of that victim mentality.
Yep.
At least for me, I went through that big time. Like so and so's out to get me, right?
Yep.
And it's like, listen, I have full control of this. I really, really do. This mind and these two hands, I can control my thoughts. I really can. Where did you start seeing that dynamic shifting in your brain, and then why did it even start to shift? Like, were you like, so did something happen where you said, I just got to be better? Like, I just got to be better. I got to stop blaming people. Or was it more so just time, trials, and tribulations kind of thing?
So I think it started when, like, I was trying to feed the needs of the individual and not the needs of myself. How can I positively influence you if I'm not 100% positively influenced that day, right? Like imagine today I walked in and I was just like, hey dude, I'm competing against all these offers, man. It sucks, but whatever. I can't influence you good. So what if you were having a bad day too? Now we've created something bad. But if I walk in and I'm 100% that day and I'm on point, I think things change, and me trying to go around and be like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with you? And then going to the next person. Well, maybe I started at 100, and now I'm at, every person takes away 1%. I have 33 agents. Let's say everyone's having a bad day, I'm now at 75%. Whereas if I just focus on myself and I'm just trying to maintain my 100, how do you come in to that room and that vibe and environment and not go up?
Man, so you're making me smile just because of what you said. It's like, that's the hardest thing I've learned about running a company. What you just said is, it's like, okay, am I going to constantly focus on this one person's issues? And like, you want to so bad, at least for me, I love people, I really
Same,
do.
yeah.
And I'm not perfect. I'm
Absolutely.
not perfect, but
Absolutely.
I love people, man.
Yep.
I really believe the best in people. My team at my previous employer, they used to call my team literally the team of misfits, because they would
awesome.
say, listen, if you can't make it with a dad, you can't make it at all. They would say that. And like, I started buying into it, and it actually gave me confidence, because I'm like, maybe I am that guy, And so how do I now shift my mindset and my focus? And it's about picking your energy. And I'll tell you, I think the biggest problem people run into with what you're saying is like, they're setting unrealistic expectations for themselves, and then they set themselves up for failure. They miss those huge expectations, and then you just start to become a negative human being because you're not getting this, you're not getting that.
I disagree with that, man.
No, it's good. Yeah.
I hardcore disagree with that. Dude, if I didn't have the expectations for myself and the goals I had for myself, dude, I would not be here today. You have to. There is a balance. I will say there is a balance between realistic versus what your goals are. But dude, if your goals don't scare you, I mean, dude, I'm getting ready to push into Florida from Michigan, like as a real estate brokerage. Like, if I didn't have that, that's a big goal. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a little scary. Like, I'm taking on a whole other state. I'm taking on a whole other compliance issues, all that stuff. We've got mortgage. We got title. If I didn't have those aspirations, man, it's not. I don't think the goals are the problem. The problem is that the people don't know how to roll with the punches, and don't know how to just be like, shit. I took 2 steps back, but okay. Well, now I know that there's a wall here. Let me go this way instead.
By the way, this is how you have a disagreement with somebody. You have a conversation, okay? So it's super important to do that. So the reason for me on my shift on it, because I do have a little different dynamic than you do on this. So my thing is, for example, and when I was 18 years old, I was a bartender, okay? Yeah. I was having fun. I was enjoying myself.
Dude, you look like Tom Cruise in Cocktail, dude.
Thank you, except I was not nearly as talented as that man was in Cocktail. But I had my fun, man. I did. I was enjoying. I was meeting, connecting with people. But my mind at the time, it was unable to comprehend the fact that I could be this person, this man that I am today. I wasn't able to comprehend that at 18. It was never a thought. My thought was, okay, like, there's somebody cool at the bar. All right, let me go see what this conversation is like. And I'm not even thinking. I'm just thinking about how to get through the day. And so with me, what I've learned about teaching people to change their mindset, especially people that have never found success before, I like setting their goals up small, because the way your brain is built is by instant gratification. And think about a baby, with babies, and as they grow into toddlers, you give them these little toys where it's like, get the triangle in the triangle, get the square in the square.
Yeah.
And you see them accomplish a triangle, and you see the brain start to get excited. And there's a lot of psychology behind it. And so for me, from the goal perspective, here's the difference though, where you're right, and I'll kind of tie it together here, because I agree with you to an extent, but I disagree on the initial stages of trying to shift people's mindsets. If I have, for instance, the guy filming right now, his name's Quentin, right? Mm-hmm. Quentin, him and I becoming close. We're learning a lot about each other. We've been growing personally together. But when I first started talking to Quentin, Quentin didn't understand or comprehend the idea of what it's like to run marketing, to be the right-hand person, in marketing to help with like the film and the videography and what the expectations were. So we start setting smaller goals, right? Smaller goals, smaller goals, smaller goals. He starts accomplishing. Now he's editing all this stuff in such a timely manner and doing it the way that we want it to be done. But before that happened, he didn't realize that's something he could actually do because it wasn't something he was ever trained to do. Now, once you learn how to do it, which is what you've done, you now know your brain is capable of doing the small stuff. Now you're going for the big fish. Now you're going for the big stuff. So that's where I disagree in that instance on like teaching somebody that's never done it versus somebody where it's like you've already figured that out, so now you're able to run, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'll tell my story. So open the brokerage. I'm sure just like when Next Door Landing opened, you've got 35 people that are like, I'm the first one. I'm going to be the first one to join, and then no one joins. Mm-hmm. Dude, it sat like that. I remember I opened in November. I remember it was January, and I had like only recruited one agent, and like that was a sure thing. She was gonna come with me because I was my buyer's agent at the time. And I remember talking to my girlfriend at the time, and I was just like, I feel like I'm failing at this. Like, how come no one wants to join? Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, do people not actually like me? Like, this sucks. I hate it. And I wallowed. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, I'm not bad at this. Like, I've just got to double down. And it was like 2 weeks later I recruited 5 agents. I just doubled down on it. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I think, like, did I have my moment? Sure. And, like, but you got to power through it. You got to grow.
You're relentless. You know what I mean? Like, you're relentless. Building those habits and building the relentlessness, it is so people aren't built like that.
No,
and they're not, man.
I know
like,
they're not.
No disrespect to anybody that, like, I know there's a lot of people out there that want to do great and be well, but some people just don't have that killer instinct.
Sure.
They're just not built with it, and that's the hardest part with people. How are you coping with the conversations right now in terms of the economy? Like, for me, loan officers and agents alike, especially right now in this market, the frustration is real. Like, I'm watching the frustration. I don't know if you're seeing it.
It's so bad
right now. My goodness, it's brutal. And I get it. It's been a year and a half of getting punched in the face, and it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but the light is coming. Like, what are you saying to agents, to loan officers alike that are like, this isn't for me, I can't do it, like, I'm done, I'm ready to go? How are you trying to are you even trying to, like, help them get through it? And then B, how are you staying so damn dialed in and focused? You're like, I'm expanding into Florida, and there's other companies shutting doors right now.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm getting to Florida right now. Everyone's like, what the hell is this guy talking? You're like, where's that coming from?
Dude, I'm just a believer, man. I'm a believer. So there's always a path. There's always a path. It doesn't matter how if the path on my left is hard, go right. If you got a wall behind you, knock the damn wall down. It's not hard. So right now, like, we obviously as an industry, we have an over influx of everybody, agents, lenders, all these people. This sounds awful. If you're not in my inner circle, I want you to fail, because I want room for me to grow. And so as all these people fail around me, I'm going to continue to grow because I see the path. And I sit there and I teach and I train. Like we talked about like a housing market crash, and I was like, okay, so we had 500 basis points of raising and interest rates over 1 year, like 18 months or whatever it was, less than 18 months actually. I was like, and our economy is still not crashed. So you think that we're gonna crash in the next month because of an extra 25? I'm like, we're fine. Does it suck? Yeah, it sucks, but we're fine. We had 500 basis points in realistically about a year. We're fine. We're okay. We're gonna power through. So I believe in that aspect. Then when I talk about like the auto industry, I'm like, who's gonna pay their car? If they have one payment they can make, is it going to be their car loan or is it going to be their mortgage? Everyone agrees mortgage. I'm like, okay, so first the auto industry goes. So I'm worried about those people. I'm like, so we've got so many steps that we've got to get through to even come close to a housing market crash. I was like, the problem is people are being lazy right now, and they got complacent because it was a great market, and you just had to sit back with your Mai Tais, and all this business came to you, and they forgot, and they did. I'll be blatantly honest. I hated that market. I wasn't winning in that market. I think I sold it wasn't even close to what I normally sell. And then last year with raising interest rates while the running a brokerage, I had my best selling year because I know I can see the path and I see it. And if you're around me, I'm letting you know the path. You have to believe it or you don't believe it, and that's fine either way. But so it's just a lot of hard conversations of like, hey, I see it and I need you to just trust me because it's here, to the point of where I double down and I'm like, listen, if I truly didn't believe in this, would I go for Florida? Would I be starting my own personal team again? Like, would I be investing in this? Would I be expanding like we are? Would I be knocking walls out? No, because it's that if it's true, then it wouldn't be the time to flex. But let's go all in.
Can I ask you? Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah,
a little bit. Can I ask you a tough question?
Yeah,
it might not be tough for you. Some people will be. If I were to ask you to define, who you are, as an individual, would you be able to articulate that?
I think I'm going to use your word, just insane. Absolutely insane. I think that's the best way to put it. However you want to interpret that's fine, but I think that's how I would classify myself.
If you can tell me a story, if you have one, what's like a defining moment, or maybe a couple defining moments for you to put yourself in that bucket? Because I know what you mean. I really do. You and I have had these conversations, but obviously the viewers have not.
Yeah.
But if I were to say, Shawn, tell one or two stories about defining moments in your life to where you can remember something happened to you, and after it happened, it's something that hit you so hard, whether it be good or bad, where you had to shift who you were potentially as an individual, where you were like, either A, I have to get better at this part, or B, I didn't like the way that made me feel, so therefore I'm shutting this part off.
Yeah. I'm going to answer it in a different way. So the suicide rate, me and you have talked privately about this. The suicide rate in my unit is probably like one of the worst in the military. And what pisses me off the most, like, about saying that, is there's literally guys out there that are like fellow veterans that will hear that and be like, and attack me for saying that. Like, no, it's not. Like, my unit's worse. And it's like, oh, go stand, brag about that on top of that hill. So because of that, like, I've probably lost so many friends to suicide. It's got to be in the close to 30 now. Man. Over like since I've been out since 2016. It's got to be close to 30. And so for me, like, I think my defining moment was like, I can sit around and be upset, and I was for a long time. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. Like, and I've gone down that dark path. And the thing of it is like, they're at the end of the day, like, they're not here. Right, so I can dwell on it and hate it and hate being alive and all that stuff, or I can be like, I've got to go at 110% all the time, because if that's my unit, right? That's my squad. It's never going away. Like, I'm never going to replace anybody from that group. I don't want to replace anybody from that group, so I've got to pick up the slack that's no longer there. And so I just feel in my soul, if I don't go 110% all the time, like, what's the point?
Man,
what's the point?
That made me cry. I the reason I'm smiling a little bit, especially after that, is like, I'm sure there's still people around from that unit too. God willing, okay?
Absolutely.
God willing, thank God. And it's like, them watching you do this is giving them permission to keep going. Because I'm sure we don't know what they're fighting through right now. I don't know how often you keep in touch, but it's like the fact that you just shared this with everybody right now. First of all, thank you. But God willing, I hope one of them watches it. One of them that's struggling, one of them that's maybe going down that dark path. Just one of them listens to this and goes, my man's doing it. Okay.
Yeah,
maybe I can get up tomorrow. Maybe I can get up tomorrow. Because listen, that's what life's about, man. Like, my mentor before he passed, he taught me that. He said, you need to give people permission to smile. Like, people don't know how hard it is for me to smile some days. They don't, man. They don't. And they never will. And it's not their job. Like, my job is to smile and tell my story. And look, be vulnerable a little bit, right? I am weird about vulnerability just because I feel like sometimes people use it against you, which really bothers me. Because my mind is very strong, but you need to start sharing stories, because there are people out there that deal with shit that just need to hear one person. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people about my mental health struggles and what I deal with. And when they literally will walk up to me afterwards, Jonathan, I just need to tell you from the bottom of my heart, you have no idea how much I needed to hear this today.
Yeah.
I didn't know by looking at you and the way you carry yourself and speak that you actually deal with the same issues I deal with. thank you for showing me that there's an opportunity for me to get better.
Yeah.
And man, when I hear that stuff, Shawn, like I'm telling you, it
feels
what it
good.
does to my soul is something I cannot explain to people.
You've potentially saved a life.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't even know what that's like. They have no clue what they're doing for me, and I'm like, wait. So are you saying the more I share some stories, the more people like love me? You know, like the more people want to be part of it. And back to the, like, how many people know about what you just said? The 30 people have potentially committed suicide in your unit.
It's a great question, man. It's got like you've. It's probably just seeing like every time something happens, I post about it, and I'm like check up on your friends. Like, do you go out there? So now to get on like a deep personal level, probably not that many. You know, it's so hard to talk about that stuff. Like, not from like a level, but because. Dude, the problems that we have in our unit, man, like there's like this line, dude, of like helping and enabling, and that's the hardest struggle for me. Is like at some point it's so easy to cross that line from help to enabling, and then you can't go back. If you enable, you're not helping, and you can't cross that line back. You cannot.
And look, man, you know. I think the thing with me, at least for me, and I won't speak for everybody, but like even with us growing our relationship and the way we have like the communication, the talking, you know, the fun, and
yeah.
But it's like when I know more about you like this, I now understand how I can push you. You know what I mean? And like the more you figure out about me, it's like, okay, how can I push this? How can I push him back? You know, in a good way. So like now when I call, you know, like it's always with a smile on my face, right? That's like the first thing I do. And then I think I texted you the other day. I was just calling to make sure you were up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's me. Like just we've had the talk. Like you said, you know. Like you get up early. You've always gotten up early, but now you're like, I'm getting up a half hour earlier. Yeah. And like that to me like means a lot, you know? And like even when we bullshit about whatever it is that we're bullshitting about, like it feels good to me. Yeah. You know, and I told you the other day, like one of the things I like that I like from you and I'm learning is like the way you cut people off in a tactful way, you know? Like that to me, I'm like, oh wait, like the more you share that stuff with me, the more I'm like, wait a second. Okay, that's pretty cool. Like I'm now getting pushed in the right direction, but it's simply because what? We're having a real conversation about real shit, not just about business, not just about all the other BS.
No, man, it's cool. Like that day you text me at like 5 a.m. and you're like, you up yet? And I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
come on. You know I'm awake.
Well, that's what. But look at that little stuff. How far it goes.
That's the thing, man. Is like that makes my day. I love that. Or like the day that you called me at like 6:30 in the morning and I was standing in my office. Dude, it's such a freaking win for the day. You'll never realize like how much of a win that is.
No, man, because people, you know, like last night I was telling my team. So last night I had my team over to my house. My mom cooked dinner. I
saw the photos, dude, and I was like, wow, okay, cool.
Dude,
I guess I'm not part of the team.
No, listen, man, it was really special. Sorry, Dante, sorry. Listen, it was special. Something I've been planning. You know, with a few of the squad, they brought over their significant others. My grandma was there. Couldn't believe it. She had like Arabic TV on. You know, I was like, this is it. You know, like what?
Yeah, it's legit.
You're in now. But listen, like I had a couple cocktails. I was smoking hookah, you know, with a few of them. We stayed up pretty late, and then I remember this morning. Okay, this morning, it was you know me, I get up at 4, and I go to the gym by get there by 5. So I woke up this morning 4 o'clock, and I'm like, man, I'm dead right now. I am dead right now. And I was like, oh God, all right, like what am I gonna do? And I sat there and I laid down for an extra 20 minutes that I normally don't. And I swear to you, the only thing that went through my head, because you said it's a win for the day, the only thing that went through my head is I said, my team needs me to wake up right now. Like my people need me. I woke up, I sent a text to my team, and then I took a picture when I got to the gym. I got there 5 minutes late than I normally did. I got there 5:05. And then I swear to you, I walk in, and one of my team members looks at me, and she says to me, she goes, yeah, when I saw your text, like she's like, I was having a really bad morning, and then I saw your text, and I was like, oh, he's up. I got to get up now. And I'm like, it did it. It worked. You know what I'm saying? That me having that mindset, even though I could have easily have just slept, hey guys, I'm going to be an hour, you know, I'm not going to go to the gym today. I'm going to be an hour late. Yeah. I'm going to lay down. Instead, I inspired somebody else to be better that day. To your point, it made my day. It made my day. Why do people not reach out? Why do people not check in?
Like even this morning, dude, I just texted you something this morning. I was like, today's the day, dude.
Let's go. Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's those small things. I don't know why people do that. And like people feel it's such an invasion of their personal time, and that's not our intent, you know, things like that. It's has nothing to do with that. It's just I'm up, I'm excited, I'm ready to go, and I want you to succeed in, like, it's basically the girlfriend thing. You know, the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning, if you have a girlfriend, text her good morning, beautiful, or whatever. You send the group text out, break up with 10 girls at once. Yeah. Whatever you do, you know, it's that same energy level. I'm up, and if you're in that circle and I'm thinking about you, you're in that circle, and people don't realize that. If I wake up at 6:30 in the morning and you get that text or whatever it is, like let's go or good job or what time we doing this, that means you're on my mind first thing in the morning when I got 10,000 other things I could be doing. I think that's money in the bank that people don't realize.
No, and they don't, man. And it's like whenever, even connecting with people, you know, from that mental aspect, people always tell me, like, John, how do you connect with people? How do you do? I talk to them. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I talk to them. I care about them, like what they're doing. You know, I'm not sitting here pretending to be perfect. You know, I'm not sitting here pretending that like I'm thinking about you all day long, right? But it's like, okay, if I have that second, that 2 seconds, that 2 minutes, whatever it is, and like I know this person also is giving me the same energy back, because that's an important piece, right?
Yeah.
It's not fair for me to constantly give energy
Sure.
and then I'm getting dog shit in return.
Sure.
You know, and it's not like I'm asking you for business. I don't text Shawn McNeil and go, hey man, need a loan this morning. It's 4:30. Have a great day.
Yeah, that would piss me off.
Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it piss you off, right?
Oh man, that would make me so mad. But if you send me like, hey, good morning, handsome, you know,
That's what I do.
first I'm going to question things. And then I'm like, you know what, good. I am handsome.
Yeah, thanks, man. But that's what I do, though, because it's like that's the reality of what people want. Like, it's not much more than that. And then here's what happens: you start making, like, people start becoming believers in you.
Yep.
Too, which is the best part, because now now, like, think about like we support each other now. You know what I'm saying? We support each other now. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Like now I see you post, you see me post, I'm like, yo, let's go, keep going. But people don't get it. Like that's what it takes to start building supporters. And if not, you're gonna have people that just like question who you are. They doubt you, but you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for this stuff.
Dude, it becomes like so ingrained. There was one day that I woke up and I remember I was going through like this the Facebook stories or whatever, and then it was like an hour later I was like, I don't think I saw a post from you today going to the gym. And I just probably scrolled, 15, 20 people, and it just got ingrained in me, and I'm like, that's weird. I went back and I looked and I was like, oh no, it's there. It's there, but it like stood out to me right away. I'm like, that's cool. I was like, that's cool. It becomes a part of your day, becomes a part of my day. My day becomes a part of your day, and you can feed off of each other.
Because you want to see them win. It's like, look, I'm not, because people ask me, like, I remove people from social media that like I don't agree with from an energy standpoint, right? Like if you're posting constant negativity, constant like bad energy, I don't mind a mix of both, right? I think it's good for people to go through emotions and share that sometimes. But if all you ever post is constant negativity, I can't be part of that. It's not worth it for me. Like if you're petty, if you have this, like I just don't have the time because of what? I have people that want to see me win. So like I want to wake up. I'm working for the people that want to see me win. I was talking to a friend of mine about this. He was asking about like haters and asking about this, and he goes, should I do this post? And I said, well, let me ask you something. If you post this, is anything going to change, or are the people that still hate you still going to hate you, and the people that still love you still going to love you? And he goes, yeah, the people who hate me are still going to hate me. The people who love me are still going to love me. I go, then why are you posting it? He goes, I love you. Thank you for sharing that with me. He goes, I'm not going to post it. Because that's how I look at when I post stuff,
Absolutely.
Like, and so sometimes when I want to do something, like say I want to post something petty or talk about something, I ask myself that question. Am I going to gain, believers of me for this post, or is this going to stay stagnant and I'm doing it for my own ego?
Yeah.
That's the reality of it, man. And people just don't get it.
No, they don't. It's sad. Like, the energy thing, man, is just new. It's just so new level. I love it, and I've got to have people all around, and it doesn't even have to be high energy, dude. Like we got this guy at our office, and I'm gonna tell you what the joke means, but we talk about like building 3, like that's mine and his joke, and I'm like, dude, I'll go on Facebook, and I was like, if you started at building 3 before you went to that golf course, you wouldn't care that you golfed bad that day, and it's funny. And then today he was like, yo, dude, where are you going? I was like, bro, I'm going to building 4, and he was like, dude, what's building 4? And I'm like, get through building 3, dude, and come talk to me. And no one will know what that means, but him and I know what that means, and it's funny and it's hilarious, and it makes him like love our like connection, like friendship and the broker, agent thing. And I love that too. It becomes part of my day where I'm like, man, I can't wait to see Dave because I got a joke about building 3. I got a good one today, something like that. And it's just, I don't know why anyone would want to be in an environment where they aren't like that. And if they're not in that environment, I think they need to switch and try it.
Listen, man, and it all goes back. Like, here's what I tell people, and I've been reading so much literature on it. I also don't sleep, so I have the time.
Yeah, same, dude. I went to bed at 2 a.m. last night.
That's what I'm saying, man. You're here. Like, if people don't get it, I know Q, you don't sleep either. But like, I see people, post about it, and you know what I've been reading about a lot about, because they correlate a lot of what, like, everything to childhood. There's actually a lot of literature on it, and they're like, look, childhood, it's like before life finally takes its toll on you, because you see people become just people that they weren't. Because if you look at like a kid, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, when they see their friends, that excitement that they have when they see their friends, like I see it with my little cousins, they're like 10, 11, 12 years old. And when they see their friend, they're, hey, what's going on, man? How's your day? They're so excited to see that person, and it's like we've lost that as we get older because life kicks the hell out of you, and you like don't know who to trust anymore. But it's like what you just said with Dave. I don't know if that's his name or you just you make
no, that's really that's a true story.
What you like with Dave, for instance, it's like that excitement is still there. It's like, and I'm not saying it's that childhood excitement, but the fact that you guys have an inside joke with each other, it's like grown men. It's like, and people think that's like, oh, what are you? No, man, that's how we were built. You were designed like that until life came in and said, yo, Shawn, it's time to punch you in the throat, and you're just like, yo, I don't want to connect with Dave right now, right? Like, I'm good, Dave, for a second. Chill over there. So, like that, why does that go away, man? Why does that go away?
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, I watch my son like every day. Go not so much when he goes into school, but when we're walking out, he's buy this person and buy that person, and he's jumping. He's buy this person, and like as you were talking, I was sitting there. I was like, man, eventually one day, like he's gonna be a teenager, and that's just that life. Life is gone, dude. But right now he's 5 and he just loves life. Imagine if he kept that same energy, like. But to think of it like this too, let's say he does keep that same energy and everyone else is at 50%.
He'll win.
He's gonna win. And how many others are maybe not 50? Maybe not 50. Maybe now they're 51. They're 52. They're slowly creeping up. Like those. Like I always. So one of my life goals. I started doing this back in like 2010, like all these years ago. One of my life goals is I always want to make one person smile a day that I haven't met before. So like, I go out to eat or something and I'm like, I have a great waitress. Even if I have a shit waitress, or a waiter or whoever, I try to like compliment them. I'm like, you're like one of my favorite servers I've ever had, dude, that if they were not good that day, what probably happens? I bet you the next table has like a 10 out of 10 experience, man. All you have to do is say, hi, what's up? Hey, how's it going? It takes 10 seconds and you change someone's whole day.
It's so fascinating because it is the joy, and think about it like this, and I'm sure you do, maybe you don't, but do you have someone in your life like when they walk into a room you just smile?
Oh yeah, I got a few people. Dude,
like me too, man. It's like when you see them, you just can't help. You just want to like Piazza was that for me. He passed away, but like this guy, anybody's energy. Yeah. Like the second this guy walked in, no matter what was going on in your day, you just couldn't help it. You couldn't help it. So it's like, to me, I'm going, wait a minute. If he can do that, like, why can't I do that? Like, what do I have to fix about, where do I have to heal first? Like, what do I have to fix in order for me to give that energy to other people? Because, dude, that's the best feeling in the world. I don't know if you know the feeling I'm talking about.
My best friend in the whole world, Darby, I get to go see him. I'm flying out to go see him at the end of the month from the Marine Corps. Dude, I remember just like this is my best friend in the world. We were always in a fighting hole together. And I remember one time I hadn't slept in like 3 days. And like I came over to the fighting hole. He's just sitting there. Just wide-eyed, just smiling at me, and I'm like, how I'm like, dude, stop smiling at me. Like, this isn't funny to me. Like, stop it. And he's like, no place I'd rather be. Best job I ever had. And I'm like, I hate you so much right now, but like, you made me laugh, and like, I love you, and like, thank you. So
they go such a far away, man, and And people know it too, and that's the thing about people that are negative. It's like when you say this stuff to them, they're like, "Oh yeah, I do have someone like that." It's like, "All right, man, or all right, whoever, if you have someone like that in your life, you can be that person too."
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you where you have to be so negative all the time? It's like, find something. I get it. Trust me, I got my depression. I got my issues. I don't wake up like this every day. Oh, I can't wait for the day to start.
Yeah.
I don't, man. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, man, like, I don't want to leave my house right now. Like, I just want to sit here and lay down and not talk to anybody in the world. But that's not how this works. I've had to condition myself to be like, it's another day. It's another day. It's another day. People need you today. People need you today. That's the reality of what we do. We're getting, we're over on time, like always, when you and I do these.
Yeah. I love it.
So I want to, for you, from whether it's a mental health perspective, whether it's an entrepreneurship perspective, whether it's just general advice at all, is there one or two philosophies or ideas or things that you really have helped impact you as a human being that you would like to share?
I think, and I was thinking about this while we were talking, actually. So one of the things that I do, I don't care, I'll never care how much it costs me, because you can't replace time. The people that I want around me, I just want them around me. If I've got to pay someone to be around me, and it makes me happy, maybe that's frowned upon, but like, look at Adam Sandler. Like, I went and saw his comedy tour. Every single dude that he's ever done a movie with was there. Like, those guys haven't probably done much, a lot of them, but I bet you he pays them to all be there because he lost Chris Farley. Mm-hmm. To me, like, looking back on all the people I've lost, like, if I could get that time back with them, it's worth so much. That's worth your soul, So, like, I will do anything and everything I can to get people around me that I want around me. And there's no amount of money or anything that you can't put a value on that. And I think that's so important. I think people need to stop focusing on so much like, oh, I'm being used for a car or whatever. It's like, if that makes you happy, do it. If you want to go out there and you're 16 years old, you want to give everyone a ride, and that makes you genuinely happy,
do it.
Do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. If like for me, if I want to drive my butt down here an hour and a half to come hang out with you guys for like an afternoon, it makes me happy. I love it. I'm gonna do. I don't care. I'm going to do it, and I don't ever need like anyone else to reciprocate that, because that's not what will make me happy. This is like this moment like is what makes me happy, and I wish more people thought like that.
That's one hell of a way to end this one.
Damn.
There's gonna be more of these. I feel like this is gonna be a reoccurring theme between you and I, just talking about life and just getting to know each other more with our journey and our growth. Look, do what makes you happy. Now, within the walls of integrity, all right, and focus on the right stuff. But surround yourself with the right people. And it's not hard. Look, you know who the right people are. Don't act dumb. Don't do that to me. Don't lie to yourself. Who is the right person? They're all over the place. You can find them. You can find them on social media. You can find them at networking groups. You can find them literally on the street. It doesn't matter. You know a winner when you see a winner. You all know it. You all feel the energy. So surround yourself with those people, because it'll only help you. I've been very fortunate to meet billionaires. I've met millionaires, tons of them. They will bring you up, I promise. Because the thing about winners that I've learned, they want to help others come to the top. They don't want to bring them down, I promise you, because they know there's enough to go around. And real winners don't mind sharing. Go out there and find them. They're there. And if you can't find them, reach out to us. If you want to really be a winner, I'd love to help you win, and I know this guy would too. I appreciate you all for tuning in. This is another episode, I would say the Early Birds podcast, but this is more of the Afternoon Birds podcast for this one today. Thank you all very much. Shawn, thank you, sir. It was an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you, dude.
Of course, take care.